Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
FCC have got a fantastic card on this weekend, and one of the bouts, which I have to say is a stellar contest. We have Tim Wilde champion taking on Martin Delaney. And Tim, this is a great fight. Again, you've got Brendan as well against David Lee, and another great matchup. I'm looking forward to this. On a British MMA scene, this is a great little card they've got on. You must feel, obviously, like you're withering away right now, cutting weight, but in general, how's everything going?
Everything's gone great. The fight, I couldn't have asked for a better fight camp, injury-wise and training-wise, etc. But more so than ever for me, mentally. Not that I've ever struggled in that division. I've took a more intelligent approach to training this time. Being very clever with my training, my recovery, and what I'm training as well. So, you know, like, I think times are changing now. The days are changing where, you know, it's all sparring, big, hard, shark tank, intense sparring. You know, I've tried a couple of new things for this camp, which I'm you know, like some yoga, and I'm really excited to see the results, you know, pay off now from all the hard work. So, yeah, as for camps go, I'd say it's by far been my best one.
And your opponent in Martin Delaney, what I love about this is the pair of you are just, you know, highly touted UK fighters, you know, and it really makes for a great contest. When you've got an opponent like Martin, for you, do you look forward to it because you really get to put yourself out there and say, look, I'm a champion, I'm going to fight against the best. You're not taking any, like, for example, like a canned opponent. You're not taking anyone. You're fighting the best you can get out there, and it says a lot about yourself as well.
Yeah. I'm 28 now, and you know, I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore. I'm not old, but I know I need to be fighting the best to solidify not only what I'm preaching about myself being one of the best, but you know, like what other people are saying as well. I need to kind of back it up now, and you're only going to do that fighting the best. If you fight cans, if you fight nobodies or has-beens, you know, anybody can do that, can't they? Anyone can build up a nice 10-0 record beating nobodies, but if you can build up a 10-0 record beating the UK's best, then, you know, people are going to believe the hype and they're going to know you're going places. So yeah, I'm really excited to fight him. We are polar opposites, I think you could quite say, with our styles. So I'm intrigued to see how the bout's going to go. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was thinking that's what makes the matchup so well. Not just the pair of you got great records, and you're both, you know, highly skilled fighters. Sorry, again, your styles, you know, they clash, and that's what, you know, makes for an interesting bout. You know, who can implement their style in the fight and who can make it work. Now, the fight, you know, it's on FCC. You did go over and sign up with Bama, and you fought on Bama and stuff. And is the FCC thing? Are you allowed to just come back and keep defending the title? Is that part of the contract? What's the deal with that?
I'll be honest. So far it's just a one-fight contract. This is, I guess, he's talked. Adam Taylor, the promoter's talked about future contracts, you know, going on from here. But one thing I never do is, you know, I never try and sign up to anything too exclusive, which kind of puts a halt on me getting where I want to be. I don't lie, I don't, you know, deny. My end goal is UFC, and I want that as soon as possible. Like I say, referring back to my age, you've only got so many years in the sport, haven't you? And, you know, as much great shows, Bama, Cage Warriors, FCC, they're all great, but I'm after the big league. I want to make a name for myself. I want to have a run at this and see how far I can actually take it. So yeah, I'm looking for an impressive win, and you know, maybe whether there's one more after that, I don't know, maybe a title defence, but I can't see me signing up to any multi-fight deals with anybody other than the UFC or, you know, big leagues like that.
Have you not had any interest from the likes of You've got obviously there's Bellator, and there's KSW. Have you had any interest out of England?
Yeah, I have. KSW have approached me about fighting in London, but as it was at the time, I was injured. I've had my coach John Roberts. I think he spoke on a regular to WSOF in America, and he's got links to also ONE FC.
Yeah.
So there's been talks. It's just been about finding the right fight at the right time and the right opponent, and it's just ended up that it's happened to be FCC, and I'm really looking forward to that. You know, I went up later last year with Tobias Reed when he fought Ashley Reese, and I was really impressed with the show. I'd never really heard of it, to be honest, and I was really impressed with the show. And straight away I said to Adam, I was like, right, you know, who you got for me on your next show, kind of thing, as a joke. And that's where it all kind of started from. So yeah,
it's you know what, it is a solid show. I've been on the show myself. It is, and Adam's doing a good job up there. I think for himself he doesn't put it out there enough. That's why possibly it goes a little bit under the radar. But it is, you know what, he's got it nailed. He's got a great venue. I think the whole venue itself, you know, the area space for the fighters to warm up, the whole place. It's a nice fit. Everything's nice and close. I love it. I like the whole area of it, really. The way they've set that whole up, and they've got. You know, they have Josh Palmer and Brad Wharton doing the commentary again, so it's nice when you've got some good commentators. I know for people viewing it when they watch the fights online, it just adds to the production and everything else. I think, you know, those little bits make a difference.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with you there. He's doing a cracking job and those two, you know, they commentate for the Cage Warriors, so they really know what they're on about, so that they're not talking nonsense, and they're really getting into detail about the bouts, and they study the fighters. And I know Brad I think he likes me, and he's followed my career a little bit and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to hearing the nice words they say about me after the fight. But yeah, they get the you know, it's a nice big cage. Great venue. I'll be honest, it's probably one of the best warming up, like you say, if you fought yourself, one of the best warming up areas of it on any show I've ever been to. You're normally cramped in a little kitchen somewhere, you know, but you've got like a whole mezzanine floor to yourself. It's wicked. You know, in my opinion, you got your two top dogs, Cage Warriors and Bama, and FCC's right behind them, like right on their heels. So they're a good show. They are,
and I think for UK MMA in general, there's a couple of shows that they're standing out. Like say you got FCC, BCMMA have just come. They've come at leaps and bounds. I'd say in the past 18 months to maybe 2 years, they're just growing and growing. I think you know. I think obviously Jack has that knowledge and experience, which really helps.
Definitely.
That's another promotion. You know, the last show that they had on, they had like Luke Barnett, John Maguire, and you know, a handful of guys on that were just. It was a good card, you know, and I think for the UK MMA scene, there's a lot of positivity going in, especially after the UFC London card going on. There's a lot of good vibes, and I think with the UK guys winning, I think it certainly helps yourselves with the spotlight go on you a little bit more when these shows come on, because people think, right, okay, well, if they're doing well, who's the next up and comers as well coming along?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot happening this last 6 months in the MMA world, and like you say, in this country, it's really bringing it on. I think, you know, the numbers that come in from, you know, this London's UFC this weekend, and you know, the best ever on Fight Pass, and it's just growing. It's just constantly growing, and I think you'll start to see more of the smaller shows. Well, what was the smaller shows, like you say, growing and becoming bigger shows, and just it's good for the fighters, you know, because at one point it was like, oh God, you can't get a fight, you can't get a match, or someone's on dropping out, and you can't find a professionally run show to get on, and you was kind of stuck with, like, I don't know, one promotion, or, you know, now you got choices. Like you say, I've spoke to Jack briefly a couple of times about getting on that BCMA MMA possibly. For me, I'm just, the show doesn't matter to me. It's the opponents, really.
Yeah.
I want the good opponents, and
Yeah.
I like a big cage because, since I like to move around a lot.
Yes.
So that's what it is for me, and the exposure as well. I need the exposure. I could go and fight on a tiny show in, I don't know, in Cannock or something, and have a brilliant win, a brilliant knockout, but nobody hears about it or sees it because it's not. There's no production or exposure from it. So that's what it is about for me now. Is big fights, big names, exposure, getting people talking about me, getting people saying, wow, did you see Tim Wilde on so and so, and did you see his win, or did you see what he was doing? And that's what I need now to push me where I want to go. So,
and I think that's the only thing that is missing on FCC. I spoke to Brendan Lane about it. I said the only thing that promotion's missing is a live stream. I said that's the only thing that they're just missing out on now, is having that live stream. And when they get that nailed, everything else is already sorted. They've got everything else done. That's the only bit now I think to push FCC up another level. You just need to get a live stream, and that will definitely, like you said, come to exposure. That will push you guys out there. I believe with is MMA Live or MMA TV Live. I always forget that name now, but they have BCMMA, for example, and they stream their stuff. 31,000 people watched it. It's just an added exposure to get your name out there a little bit more. I think I'd love Adam to maybe hopefully get something like that sorted, because I think that will just help that promotion and yourselves.
Yeah, I think that might, it might not be far away. I don't know personally to Adam being in any talks with anybody, but if you look. Like, I've obviously now fighting on it, I've looked into the history of FCC and whatever, and you can just see how it's grown, and the cards have grown, and the calibre of fighters have grown, and the audiences have grown and stuff. So it is a growing show still, and I think it'll just keep giving more and more. But yeah, that's definitely a step in the right direction. Looking at doing that, I think.
And I think
I'll suggest it to Adam when I see him the weekend.
Yeah. It just helps for UK MMA, though. I think if you can stream it, it does get guys out there a lot more, and the accessibility. I know you're not a tech head, but it is actually simple enough to just put it out there online and stream it. Even if you're not charging anything, do you know what you're doing? You're getting guys out there, you're getting your brand out there to start with. Just get it up, and it gets it going.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Definitely.
And look, Tim, I cannot wait for this weekend's fight. Honestly, I sadly am not going to be there, but I will be. I know that Harry Williams is going to go to the event, so I'll be following his Twitter feed. And I've already told him, I said, you're going to have to tell me what's happening in the fights, not just the end result, what's happening in the fights.
Great.
So I'll be keeping tabs on it. And again, I think it's a really good card. I think Adam's done a good job there with the matchups. And of course, you're fighting Martin Delaney. But before I let you shoot off, Tim, what's your social media, mate, so people can jump on?
Oh, great stuff. It's basically just Tim Wilde MMA. You can get me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, just at Tim Wilde MMA. So if anyone wants to give me a follow, go ahead, please. Give
him a follow, folks. One of the top UK prospects. And what about your sponsors? You got any sponsors there helping you out in this fight camp?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank Good Fit Nutrition. They've helped me so much for this camp, and they always do. Great nutritional company. Again, a growing company, and they're doing leaps and bounds. And look out for them in the future. My physio, active therapy, always looks after me, keeps me injury free, and I couldn't do it without him. Andrew Caldwell, and lastly, Booster. They supply me with all my gear. Wayne Kirk up at 4DMA is a great guy, and anything I ever need, they sort me out, and it is quality stuff. I love wearing the stuff. You can't beat it. So just give me a shout out for them, please. That's cool.
I have seen their stuff. I've seen Brett Johns as well gets the Booster stuff as well. It looks proper Gucci. Yeah. I've not tried any of it yet.
Nice stuff, mate. It's nice stuff. Expensive stuff as well, so it's like nice for me. I like to wear good gloves because you protect your hands, and stuff. So
makes a difference.
It's all good.
Yeah, it does, mate. Big time makes a difference. People don't realise, but it does. Honestly, it saves your hands, the health of your hands, which basically what you need, really. So
exactly, your tools, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And last but not least, then give a shout out to your gym, training partners, and stuff like that.
Great stuff, yeah. Just shout out UTC staffs in Cannock. Massive thank you to John Roberts, my head coach, his son Sam Roberts, who does my pads all the time and works with me with game plans, and just all my training partners. But more so for this fight than ever, Tobias Reed, he's on the card as well. We're vowing to steal the show. So just a shout out to them guys and all the guys and all the guys who going to come and watch me. I've got a big gang of people coming up to watch me. So just thanks for all the support.
I know it's a great atmosphere there, Tim. It is when the crowd gets going. It's because the way the structure is, it does really give that great acoustic feel when the crowd gets cheering. So look, Tim, have a great fight, have a great weekend, and thanks for speaking to us, mate.
Awesome, thank you.